Hey, this is Jessica. Now we're going to talk about my research paper, which is one of my most favorite papers I've ever written, honestly. I had a lot of fun with it and I really enjoyed writing it. Um, so, the assignment, so the choices. While researching my synthesis paper on the self-control theory and criminology, came across an article that stated that once a behavior has been set in a person, there's no changing it, no matter what you do, rehabilitation, work, um, programs, outreach, none of that. So for this theory, the critical period is the first 10 years of the life, and once it's set, that's it. The author of this specific article that I found claimed that there was no rehabilitation that could ever change the criminal's mindset, and any effort to do so was a lost cause. Um, in other words, there's no point in wasting resources, money, time, um, changes in laws, nothing. There's no reason to. Once they're a criminal, they're a criminal. Basically lock them away and throw the key. And I was really taken back by that. So my audience was going to be those affected by crimes, lawmakers, legal guardians, and community leaders. And I really thought that if you read the paper, you could see that there were options for criminals in order to change their lives once they've had that behavior set in. And I don't think it's the be all end all once they do make a mistake or make a choice. I believe that it can be fixed. So my purpose and goal was to work through the question of, does research support rehabilitation? And if so, what type produces the best results? Because there's a million different things you can do, such as therapy, or teaching them a new skill, education. Um, if not rehabilitation, then what prevention and intervention methods are successful? And so, of course, prevention would be um, when they're in the first 10 years of their life and a little bit beyond. So when they're in that period of their lives where they start listening to their friends and they push away from their family, how strong can the family be? How strong can the community be? And step in to make sure that at-risk youth, and really any youth, doesn't fall into delinquency behaviors. And intervention methods, of course, is after the crime has already been committed, they've already gotten in trouble. What can we do to change them and help them? Personally invested in the topic. I am a victim of crime. Um, again, my husband was murdered, and so I really wanted to learn more about this and kind of get into the mind of the man who committed the crime. And I really wanted to learn more about the information I found while I was researching the synthesis paper. And again, my synthesis paper was more data driven. It was about numbers. And so I wanted to take those numbers and actually apply it. My thesis, I really liked my thesis, that things can change for these people. Um, if they make a mistake, if they have a life of crime, delinquency, they've fallen into the wrong crowd, they didn't have a good start. What can we do to make them productive members of society and restart their lives and get them on a better path? And really have them find their self-worth. Once I had a strong starting point, the paper came along very easily. And I really, really enjoyed writing the paper. Format, um, I decided to switch it up. I really built the format and the flow of my paper around the lyrics to Johnny Cash's Folsom Prison Blues. Loved the song, and so but you just sing along to it. Once I actually read the lyrics, I was like, oh my goodness, this is pretty good. So I really wanted to shake up just the monotony of just the white and paper and black letters, and I just wanted to switch it up a little bit, so I took a risk. And started out with the lyrics and ended up with the lyrics and had it mixed in throughout. And anytime you can incorporate Johnny Cash into anything in your life, it's a good day. And I fully believe that. So had a good time. Weakness, I mentioned this in my other presentation, APA format. I still struggle with setting up my paper, and I will write my paper one day, walk away, start again, and then format it. Because it just stresses me out. I'd rather do MLA, but that's okay. I'm kind of getting a hang of it. Maybe before I graduate, I'll figure it completely out. Um, this paper could have been longer. I really cut down the information that I had. It could have been a lot longer. I tried to tie it all in as much as I could to not go over the paper the page count, and also not to make it just a chore to read. And of course, flow, always transitions and fluency. I never think it's good enough. And although I did do well on this paper, that's where I lost the most points at was fluency and transitions. Conclusion, I really, really, really enjoyed writing this paper. And I think my grade reflected that. I got a much better grade on this one than I did my synthesis paper. It was definitely less of a chore than the synthesis paper. I just was not personally connected to the synthesis paper. And I was really interested in the articles that I used. I appreciated having to write the synthesis paper first, to learn from it. And if I didn't write the synthesis paper first, I would not have had the thesis for this paper. So I'm very, very thankful for that. And actually, one of the articles I love so much, I'm going to write the author and just tell him that I enjoyed having that to be able to use. So it's very interesting. I really like these sources. And again, I enjoyed writing the paper. Thank you.